Well, our focus tonight is going to be the Muzaffarpur shelter home rapes, as we've accessed, in fact, details that will literally make your skin crawl. That's coming up on the other side of this very quick break as we bring you the details of the horror. And this is from the victims themselves as they've spoken to the magistrate and given their testimonies. That's on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
The woman's confession was allegedly used to blackmail her and demand sexual favors. Suspension of these priests, he says, isn't enough. They should be thrown out.
The survey is not your test on patriotism. Shame on all those voices that believe that India is still safe for women. And shame on you if you want to look away from today's grim reality.
Yes, we need the development. Yes, we need the economy to grow. Yes, we need the industries. And yes, we need the jobs that come with the industries. But no, we don't need it at the cost of human lives. They cannot get away with this. If they can find the time and space and these resources to fix that road that has caved in today because of...
The story of 40 minors raped in a shelter home in Bihar shook the nation's conscience. Now, Mirror Now has accessed spine-chilling details from inside the shelter home from hell. The details that emerge from the shelter home will make your skin crawl. Among the 40 girls trapped includes a 7-year-old girl who was drugged, raped and beaten up. 19 victims have revealed how they were raped by the owner of the shelter, Brijesh Thakur and Ravi Roshan. They have also revealed how they were burnt with boiling water as a punishment and how staff members invited outsiders to rape the girls.
As per the report, a 7-year-old kid was brutally raped by the main accused, Brijesh Thakur, who was also the owner of the shelter house. This kid was unable to hear or speak.
As gruesome details emerge in the case, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has ordered a CBI probe into the matter. But the opposition has dragged Bihar's Social Welfare Department Minister Manju Verma into the case. Her husband is among the accused, has been reported to have frequented the Muzaffarpur shelter home to rape the minor girls.
महिला आयोग ने उसको चिट्ठी भी भेजा है गिरफ्तारी के लिए, तो उसकी गिरफ्तारी क्यों नहीं हो रही है? गिरफ्तारी होना चाहिए। जो मंजू वर्मा जो मंत्री हैं उनको इस्तीफा देना चाहिए जल्दी।
But the minister in question has denied all allegations. She says petty politics is being played for political gains and that there are hundreds of shelter homes in Bihar and this is an isolated incident.
110 एनजीओ का जांच हुआ जिसमें कि बहुत से एनजीओ के गुड प्रैक्टिसेस भी हैं, लेकिन उनका नाम किसी ने नहीं ले रहा है.
As gruesome details emerge, Mirror Now asks, why was Nitish Kumar's government allowing children to be raped in a government shelter home?
We brought to you this story last week when it did come out and when it broke viewers, and now there are more details that have emerged from the fact that victims, the ones who were rescued from this shelter home, have given their testimony to the magistrate. My colleague who joins me in the studio right now, Sandhya, went to the location. She spoke with the people there and she has come back with details that would shock you. And the reason why we need to share these details with you tonight is because as we sleep safely in our homes and our children are safely in their beds, we must remember that these children were meant to be in the care of the government. A shelter home is a home where you put children who need to be cared for. How can we sleep when there are children being treated in this manner in our country? Remember, we're talking about girls between the ages of 7 and 17. All of them were minors. Sandhya is in the studio with me. Sandhya, you've accessed, of course, these witness accounts that each of these girls have talked about, and I will bring in the rest of my guests. But when you found the details, what concerned you? What shocked you the most?
See, talking about the details, Faye, as far as the victims are concerned, yesterday we read the 164 statements of the victims, and today we have the preliminary report filed by the Muzaffarpur police, and the police has cited all those statements. The horrifying details of what was going on in that shelter house since years was that one thing which shocked us. First of all, that how there are many victims who have said in their statement that how this was going on since many years. There's one victim who said that she was brought to the shelter house 5 years ago, and since then she was raped. There is another victim who has said that she was brought to the shelter house 2 years ago, and since then she was raped. There's this one victim who has said that she was brought to the shelter house in 2017, Faye, and the surprising and shocking part is that the CWC counselor who was supposed to counsel these kids, he used to visit every Tuesday. He used to visit the shelter house every Tuesday, and the girl has said in her statement that he used to rape her. The people who were supposed to protect these kids, who were supposed to counsel these kids, he was the one who raped her. In fact, when on Tuesday, we spoke to one member of a child welfare department from Patna, Ms. Prema Shah. She said that regular counseling was done by CWC, and in fact, regular inspections were also done. But there's one CWC member who is accused of raping the girl. There was one
accused of raping a girl, or has the girl actually given her witness account, her testimony to the magistrate that the CWC member actually did rape her?
Yes, absolutely, Faye. In the 164 statement given by the victim to the magistrate, she has clearly said that how she was brought to the shelter house in 2017, and after 10 to 15 days, the CWC officer, the CWC officer came to the shelter house for the counseling, and then he raped her. That's what she has said in her statement. In fact, she went ahead and she said that the female staffer, they knew about it, but they not only supported this, but they also forced the victim to go to different rooms, and the victim was raped by different men during that the course of that 1 year. Apart from that, Faye, one 7-year-old kid who was unable to hear or speak, she was also raped. In her statement, because she was unable to give a statement with the help of sign language, she gave a statement and spoke about the fact that how she was drugged and then raped. Apart from that, many victims, they said that whenever they used to resist, the female staffer, they used to pour hot water on their private parts and on their back. In fact, these female staffers also used to make them do all the kitchen chores, and when they were unable to do it, they used to again put hot water on their bodies. We are talking about kids, as you said, 7 to 17 is the age. Apart from that, all these victims, one common thing, because that also establishes the modus operandi, these kids mentioned that how they were given some medicines after the dinner, and after taking that medicine, they used to feel unconscious, and whenever they used to wake up in the next morning, they used to find themselves in semi-naked condition with pain and bleeding in the private parts, and they used to complain about this to the female staffers of the shelter house, but in return they used to get beatings from them.
Well, you know, Sandhya has brought back with her a lot of details, including 7 of these testimonies that the victims have placed before the magistrate. But I want to introduce my panel, and we keep going back to the information we have. Dr. Sunil Singh is the spokesperson of the JDU, Dr. Naval Kishore, spokesperson of the RJD, Vikram Singh, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, Dhananjay Singhal is the executive director of Bachpan Bachao Andolan, Rifat Javed is the founder of Janta Ka Reporter, Sushma Sahu is a member of the National Commission for Women, and of course Sandhya, who's with us right now. Let me start with Sushma Sahu, who is one of those people who was part of this entire process of bringing this to light. सुषमा जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. अभी जो मैजिस्ट्रेट के सामने ये बच्चियों ने जो बयान दिया है, ये पढ़ के ऐसा हम लोग कैसे मान सकते हैं कि ये बच्चियां पिछले 5 साल से स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की कस्टडी में थे और किसी को भी मालूम नहीं था. CWC मेंबर भी उनका बलात्कार कर रहा था, उन पे जोर कर रहा था. तो ये बिहार स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनता है कि नहीं बनता है यहाँ पे? क्या आपके ख्याल से स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इनके साथ मिली जुली थी, क्या इनको मालूम ही नहीं था?
देखिए, सही तौर पे मतलब डायरेक्ट किसी को ब्लेम नहीं किया जा सकता है. जैसे ही जानकारी हुई, और आपने देखा होगा कि टेस्ट ने जो रिपोर्ट दिया है, टेस्ट ने जो इंक्वायरी की है वो बिहार गवर्नमेंट के कहने पर ही की है, वो उसका इंडिविजुअल को रिपोर्ट नहीं होता है। अगर बिहार गवर्नमेंट को किसी को बचाना होता तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरह की इन्वेस्टिगेशंस का कोई पार्ट हो ही नहीं सकता था। दूसरी बड़ी चीज़ कि जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन आया, आज जिन बच्चियों ने जो एक 164 का जो भी बयान दिया है, वो बिल्कुल मैं इसको कह सकती हूँ कि बिल्कुल हॉरर है। मतलब आप सोच के भी हमारे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं। एक छोटे छोटे बच्चियों के साथ जो व्यवहार किया गया, मैं तो खुद वो साइट विजिट करके आई हूँ। विजिट करने के बाद मैं तो खुद ही इन बातों को मैंने सबके सामने रखा था, लेकिन मुझे लगा कि मेरी बातों को भी बहुत लोगों ने यकीन नहीं किया। लेकिन मैंने कहा था कि इसमें सच्चाई है, क्योंकि मैंने जो ऑब्जर्व किया है दैट वाज 110% ट्रू। और देखिए आज वही चीज़ें आई हैं। रही बात सरकार की, तो मैं सरकार पर इसलिए अभी कोई टीका टिप्पणी नहीं कर सकती क्योंकि ये जांच का विषय है और सरकार ने सीबीआई की जांच का आदेश दे दिया। हमें लगता है कि थोड़ा हमें वेट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि मंत्री का जो स्टेटमेंट आपने बीच में हमें सुनाया, मैं मंत्री के किसी स्टेटमेंट पर नहीं जाना चाहती कि उनके हस्बैंड गए हैं नहीं गए, उससे मुझे कोई मतलब नहीं। ये सीबीआई इंक्वायरी करेगी और मुझे लगता है कि सीबीआई बहुत ईमानदारी से इंक्वायरी करने के बाद दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी होगा। और जो अक्यूज्ड हैं, जिन लोगों ने ये दुराचार किया है उन बच्चियों के साथ, जो ऑर्फन बच्चे हैं, जो कहीं ना कहीं नेग्लेक्टेड है समाज से, ऐसी बच्चियों के साथ, उनके लिए माफी शब्द नहीं है।
Well, that's very well said. And I want to take this back to Dr. Sunil Singh, spokesperson of the JDU. Dr. Singh, government ने अभी सरकार ने अभी CBI inquiry बोला है. They've asked for a CBI inquiry, but it does seem a little late for this sort of this sort of reactionary solution. These children, at the end of the day, were in the custody of the government. How is it that the government didn't know for so long?
It's not late for CBI inquiry. Our finest police officer, the senior SP, himself a female, was on the job, and all the arrests have been made except one. FIR has been done. And let me remind you of one thing. It was the Bihar government itself who wanted a third-party evaluation and gave the contract to Tata Institute of Social Sciences to get a true picture and the feedback of the social welfare schemes running in the state. It was then that the TIS bumped down the certain report. The report came. The report was examined. Some queries were made and it was verified with the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. The report was voluminous, and by this report was studied, the FIR was lodged, and all the concerned persons except one is behind bars. And when the people were, when the leaders were asking for CBI inquiry, we had nothing to hide. We have done the cooking. We have the police is in the right direction. We have done the cooking for CBI. The CBI can take charge, and we are there to assist CBI. And let me assure you that Nitish Kumar is totally committed. He is totally have zero tolerance towards these kind of crimes. And definitely, anybody who is guilty, they are behind bars. And whatsoever, if the inquiry reveals that Mr. A, B, C, he is husband of somebody, son of somebody, daughter of somebody, somebody belonging to any party, doesn't matter at all. Law will take its own course. I want to announce from your esteemed channel. Okay, let it go through that.
Well, Dr. Singh, the one person who has not been arrested yet, I believe, is the CWC member, the government agent who was supposed to be checking on the welfare of these children, who decided to rape them himself. Why haven't we found this person yet?
Definitely yes. That person, wherever he can hide, let him hide. Even he is in Patal, we will take him along from there, and he will be arrested soon. Let the CBI take over the charge later on, but we are on job till the CBI takes charge, and our police force is the finest in India. The senior SP is very active. Still, we had nothing to hide. But the leaders wanted CBI inquiry. Any amount of any investigative agency can come. We have nothing to hide. The person who have committed these kind of heinous crimes, they don't have any place in civilized society. They have to be punished, and they have to be put behind bars, and law should take its own course. We are committed towards that.
Right. Sandhya, one quick question to you. You went to the shelter home. Is it in a crowded location? Could this have been going on for so long? Strange men entering a home meant for young girls, screaming, I'm assuming, shouting, beating, going on late into the night. How was it possible that nobody knew?
Faye, talking about the location of this particular shelter house, it's right next to the Mahila Thana of that area. Muzaffarpur is a very small place, And this particular area is a very congested area. The lanes are very, the lanes are extremely narrow, and it's a crowded area. In fact, in the preliminary report of the police also, police has mentioned the statement of the neighbors who have mentioned that how they used to hear that girls used to scream, and the noises used to come out from the shelter house every night. And talking about that, how police was absolutely unaware of the fact, it clearly states that how the Mahila Thana itself was very, very close to this particular shelter house. So this particular aspect, that police was absolutely unaware of whatever was happening, is slightly difficult to digest, Faye.
Dr. Singh, do you want to respond to that? How is it that the Mahila Thana did not know this was going on, and what is this world-class police force that you're talking about then?
Let the investigative go on. If we find that the Mahila Thana officers had a lackadaisical attitude, nobody will be spared. Let the investigation, we cannot go without direction. Let the investigation take its normal course, a usual course, and a very thorough course, and investigations should go fairly, and anybody found in complicity or dereliction of duty will not be spared, because these kind of heinous crimes is not tolerable in a civilized society.
I want to open this up to the rest of my panelists. Vikram Singh, former DGP Uttar Pradesh, do you buy this argument being offered by Dr. Singh? Is this satisfactory? Santya Stareya said this was a crowded neighborhood. There was a Mahila Thana, not just a regular police station, but a Mahila Thana was right next door. The neighbors heard screaming from the children who were inside, but the police didn't react, Vikram Singh.
Dr. Singh's valiant defense of the Bihar government is quite natural, but it is unconvincing. By all accounts, these accounts appear to be straight from the Nuremberg trials of what happened in Nazi Germany, and not less, in any manner, less horrific than what happened in Nazi Germany. And it is unconvincing for the Mahila police to hear the sheikhs on a regular basis and not to intervene. It is just not expected of a Mahila police. The very philosophy of creating a Mahila Thana and a Mahila police is that you will intervene and ensure that women are safe in your area. And not to do so and to look the other way totally demolishes the concept of the creation of a Mahila police station and a Mahila Thana. Yes, there are 2 plus points for Nitish Kumar ji's government. One, that you ordered a third-party inquiry and audit, that is by the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. And the second, that you ordered a CBI inquiry. But for 5 years, if there has been a repeated and a continuous exploitation and Frankenstein's monsters unleashing themselves on helpless girls from the age of 7 to 17, Rome was not built in a day. And this kind of a horrific treatment given out to the shelter homes, or was it termination chambers, or whether they were, what kind of torture chambers that they were in. If you knew what was happening there, you should have intervened. The government is supposed to work like a well-oiled and greased machinery, and such things should not be allowed to happen at all. There is a system where the supervisory officers supervised by senior level officers, whether a person is a husband or a brother or anybody. Ranjan and Thakur, these happen to be 2 important dramatists persone, and anybody who's found wanting, I would expect Harpreet, the city SP, to come down with acts and statutes like the National Security Act or the Makoka, and to give a lesson of a lifetime to these predators and perverts.
In fact, Dr. Sunil Singh, the Bihar government may want at this point brownie points for inviting TIS to take a look at it, or even brownie points for asking for a CBI inquiry. But look at, we have right now the testimony of 20 victims. Victim number 20 identified the CWC councillor. This is the councillor who was supposed to be doing regular checks and making sure these children were okay. Identified the CWC councillor as a rapist. She said Meenu and Kiran aunties, the ones who were in charge, used to get her raped. Brajesh Thakur used to rape her, saying if you say no, you will be beaten. Victim number 19. One of the accused used to grope her every day. He would take her out at night to the garden and finger her after she went and complained to the superintendent. She was scolded and told that she must go with that man. The man in the photo number 3 would grab them, he would cover their mouths with a cloth, and then he would do things to them that would hurt. Meena auntie used to drug victim number 17. When she woke up after being drugged, she would experience pain in her private parts the next morning. Brajesh Thakur used to beat her. She was once beaten by him when she was trying to turn on the television. Victim number 16. Kiran and Meena auntie used to give me medicines and then I would fall asleep. In the morning, my body would ache. She was not allowed to stand near the window. Victim number 17 was given 15 was given medicines at night. After taking the medicine, she would fall asleep. Kiran auntie used to sleep naked next to me. Victim number 14, 10 years old. Brajesh Thakur used to call boys from outside who would rape her. Victim number 13, 10 years old, was drugged and raped. Victim number 12, 10 years old. She used to be drugged. Then the shelter house female staff would ask her to sleep in the main accused Brajesh Thakur's room. These women used to tell the victim that other people will come and meet her in Brajesh Thakur's room. The victim used to then wake up, find herself in a semi-naked condition. Her pants would be on the floor. Dr. Sunil Singh, should I continue to read this horrendous document that's in front of me? Do you actually believe that ordering a CBI inquiry right now washes off the responsibility of the Bihar government? Remember, these children were in your custody. This should have never ever happened. And what are you doing right now to make sure it's not going to happen to anybody else?
It doesn't need such a detailed reading of that matter. Anyway, I mean, these kind of things, the Bihar government is not shirking away from the responsibility. Bihar government, Bihar police is on the job. I told you, the senior SP is herself a female on job. We cannot shirk away from our responsibility. When the CBI comes, we are there to cooperate. And anybody, I told you, these are a horrendous description of a real inhuman crime that happened with that little girls. And I tell you that Bihar government is very sensitive towards this kind of crime. And anybody, for Brajesh Thakur or Roshan or anybody for that matter, if anybody is found in the dereliction of duty, the complicity in the crime, hand in gloves, nobody will be spared. They will go to the right place where they deserve to be.
Really, I want to bring in Dr. Naval Kishore of the RJD. Dr. Naval Kishore, go ahead, please. Aboli.
Yeah, it is really shocking because this shocking event, this heinous crime, this horrifying and terrifying crime has happened in collaboration with the government officials as well as the leaders. You know, the prime accused, Mr. Brajesh Thakur, has fought 2 elections with NDA in 1995 and 2000. And everybody knows his connection with Nitish Kumar and Sushil Kumar Modi. So
what about your party leaders, sir?
We cannot believe
your
that
party leaders,
it is not in the knowledge of Nitish Kumar, number one. Whatever Sunil Singh is saying, that police is inefficient.
What trials are you talking about?
Police might be inefficient, but
have you
they are working under the Home Ministry.
You want to politicize all these issues. You don't even know ABC of it. You don't want to solve the problem. You don't want to come to a conclusion. You want to spread rumors, trust, playing politics of this dirty matter.
All right, gentlemen, all right, there's only this much I will allow. Let me bring in the other 2 guests. Rifat Javed, founder of Janata Ka reporter. This is not making any sense. The 2 of you yelling at each other.
Politics apart, gentlemen, let us have a roadmap.
Trading allegations is not helping anybody. Rifat Javed.
When did they go to the CBI? They have gone only after home.
1 second. I'm sorry, I had to cut off the politicians. Rifat Javed, please go ahead.
Look, you know, we have heard this JDU guy making tall claims about how sensitive and concerned, you know, his government is about women's safety. I think we must remind him that, you know, what happened in Muzaffarpur didn't happen today. They ordered the CBI inquiry today. We reported about, you know, we started reporting about the, you know, the agony being faced by 44 girls from 14th of June last month. So it's been more than a month already. And by the way, this hasn't come in isolation. We have seen last month there was a doctor who was tied up to a tree. In front of him, his 15-year-old daughter and the wife was being, you know, were gang raped, not far from Patna in Gaya. You know, we just came across with a girl student who was being gang raped for 7 months, you know, and he was talking about the policing in Bihar, the same police where her father went, you know, the police refused to file an FIR. What action have you taken? I mean, You know, it's all about attitude. This state government, you know, this Nitish Kumar guy, the guy used to be known for his auditory skills. The guy used to take on Modi in the assembly elections. Why has he lost his voice? I have not seen one convincing statement by him that makes me, that gives me a hope that, you know, this government is serious about women's safety. I have lived all my life in Muzaffarpur. You know, the crime where the shelter is situated is not in village, it's not in rural areas, it's right in the heart of the city. Muzaffarpur is the second largest city after Patna. You know, where is your human intelligence? What was the police doing if such gory crimes were happening with impunity for so long? Where was the police? And more than a month has happened since the local media started reporting it, and the government is waking up to reality now and then taking a claim that we have ordered a CBI inquiry. Big deal.
I want to go back to Sushma Sahu. Sushma जी मुझे ये बताइए, क्या आपको लगता है कि गवर्नमेंट की जो अभी रिएक्शन है काफी देरी से आ रही है?
नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है। डेवास्टेट जिससे जब से वो इंक्वायरी का आया था, उनकी रिपोर्ट्स आए हैं टेस्ट के, उसके बाद से देखिए मैं भी विजिट की हूँ, मैंने भी देखा है। और आपको ये जानकर के आपको आश्चर्य भी होगा, क्योंकि केंद्र में पीएमओ की तरफ से भी वो सारी इंक्वायरी पर इन सारी चीज़ों पे बहुत ही सरसरी निगाह है और बहुत ही इसको माइन्यूटली ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं। इसीलिए नहीं, क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा क्राइम है। और मुझे लगता है कि ये आज 29 बच्चों और 44
साहू जी, ये जो रिपोर्ट आई थी, टेस्ट की रिपोर्ट आई थी, अप्रैल में आई थी, करेक्ट? और अभी जो अरेस्ट हुए थे जुलाई में हुए थे।
फायर होता है।
तो आपको लगता है कि फटाफट से होती है तत्काल तौर पे अप्रैल से जुलाई तक टाइम लगता है जानकारी पढ़ने में?
ये बिल्कुल नहीं, आपको जानकारी दे दूं। अभी जिन्होंने मेरे से पहले भी जो बोल रहे थे, उनकी बात भी मैं थोड़ा सा मैं डिफर करती हूं। आपने कहा कि जुलाई में अरेस्टिंग हुए, बिल्कुल गलत बात है। 12 तारीख को मैंने एनसीपीसीआर को सारा कंपाइल करके रिपोर्ट दे दिया था। 13 तारीख को मैंने माननीय मेनका जी को, मिनिस्टर मैडम को, मैंने पूरा रिपोर्ट बना करके उनको सारी बातें बता दी थी और उन्होंने इमीडिएट सेक्रेटरी को कहा था। ये मैंने आपके पहले भी जब मैं चैनल पे थी, मैंने आपको सारी बातें बताई हैं। तो ये कहीं से भी नहीं है कि जुलाई में हुआ। रिपोर्ट आने के बाद एक अफरा तफरी की स्थिति थी कि लोगों को लगा कि क्या ऐसा भी होता है, मतलब इमेजिनेशंस के बाहर की चीज है। और रही बात गया की बात, अभी वो गया की बात कर रहे हैं, तो पुलिस ने एक्शन नहीं लिया। मैं उनको बता देना चाहती हूँ, मैंने ही उनकी मॉनिटरिंग की थी और 2-3 दिन बाद उस ड्यूरेशन में अरेस्टिंग उन लोगों की सब हो चुकी है। 10 तारीख से पहले 10 तारीख से पहले 8 लोगों की अरेस्टिंग हो चुकी है। ये मेरे पास रिपोर्ट थे, क्योंकि सिटी एसपी हमारे साथ थे, डीवाईएसपी हमारे साथ थे।
I would like to say something here.
Hello.
Yes, all right. Let me go across. Let me go across to Mr. Dhananjay Singhal. Mr. Dhananjay Singhal, go ahead, please.
Faye, this is a classic example where the guardians are turning into monsters. It was a complete failure of the whole mechanism. It was a blatant misuse and blatant, I will say, kind of a law which was not at all followed, which was for the children. If we see the whole system, CWC, in compulsory, one CWC member has to be a woman. A women shelter home, which is specifically of the girls, has to be monitored, and the visit has to be done by the women CWC member.
Has to be monitored.
Muzaffarpur CWC did not have any female there. And the DCPO, all the staff of the whole district level machinery of which was supposed to be protecting the children was involved in violating the children and exploiting the children. So it's a classic case which was a complete failure of the state machinery to monitor their own people. What is happening there? So the case which is being done now, the report which was submitted in April with these kind of glaring things on which the department people were sitting for almost 2 months before any action, before any questions can be done. These are the things which are not being seen. The police, when they went inside in the uniform, which is completely against the law. And the kind of things, the way they were treating the children, it was not with the kind of the way you treat a child who is a victim, but you were treating a child with a questioning him threateningly. So these were the things which has happened after the incident which was revealed. It's not a question when you are talking of politicizing the case. It is also important that this case should be highlighted, and thorough investigations has to be done in all the homes which are running. NCPC has already initiated a social audit of all the homes across India on the orders of the Supreme Court. But what is happening is the state machinery needs to see, and state machinery needs to develop the strong monitoring mechanisms of their own people rather than being dependent on the district level officials reporting about the things which are happening in the districts.
Well, actually, now that, Mr. Singhal has pointed this out, that visual that's running on your screen, let me just ask Vikram Singh if he believes that this is kosher. The visual on the screen, Mr. Singh, is when the place was raided. That is a victim, the one with her face covered, and these are victims being led away by the police. Is that the manner in which the police have to deal with victims of POCSO, especially this kind of abuse?
No, I don't think this is the right thing to do, because there has to be a preponderance of women volunteers and women police force. This is just not the way it appears to be, basically brazen and insensitive. I would rather that they should have been more professional, more so when you have the proximity of the Mahila Thana, more so of the fact in the backdrop of such horrific accounts, which even Dr. Singh and I were almost squirming in our seats listening to the grisly accounts of what had happened. In the backdrop of that account, I think there should have been more sensitivity, better professionalism that should have been displayed, giving due dignity to the victims in this particular episode. Firstly, it was so tragic and traumatic for them to have gone through what they had to go through. And now, of course, the process of apprehension and the process of investigation added a new dimension to the trauma and to the anguish. I would say that yes, they should have been a little more sensitive during the process of investigation, because they are victims of assault, they are victims of rape, they are victims of torture. Therefore, they should have not been treated in such an abrasive and in such an abrupt manner.
In fact, Dr. Surreal Singh, the accused Ravi Roshan, in his statement has said that there were two people from the CWD who were actually aiding and abetting in this particular case. Has there been an internal inquiry that has been actioned within the CWD and other agencies of the government as to how many people were really involved and how many people were in the know about this?
It was really tragic that the officers who were deputed the task of the monitoring and evaluating, they were themselves involved in these things. It was very, it's very shameful on the part of the officers, and that is why these CBI inquiry or the police inquiry, even the police inquiry is going in the right direction. We are exploring all the angles, the complicity of anybody, the persons who are aiding and abetting the crime, the persons who are involved, without partiality. That's going on. Even the CBI would come, the Bihar police would still cooperate the CBI, and we have to go to the truth. And
no, but you're not specifically answering my question, Dr. Singh.
As for somebody saying that the first arrest was made in July, let me remind them, the FIR was filed in 31st May and the arrest was made in June only.
FIR was done after 1 month.
Arrest was made on time.
After 1 month.
No, Mr. Singh, even if we assume the arrests were made in June, from April to May to June, it still took you 2 months, Dr. Singh. 2 months is still a long time to leave children in this state.
In case you want to.
You're still telling me, even if we assume.
I want to explain that 1 month.
Government was aware of what was happening in Muzaffarpur.
I'll explain the 1 month if you give time. The 1 month delay was after the report was filed, every detail was being studied, the clarification were being made from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and it was not being leaked.
No, evidence was being destroyed.
Could not get Hawa
evidence was being destroyed.
And that is it. And the preparation was going on to make it so free so that the accused can be nabbed on time. There was no deliberate delay.
Okay, 1 second. Somehow when politicians start to speak, nobody can understand anything. Gentlemen, you are speaking at the same time. You are both defeating your purpose. Here are the details. 1 second, Mr. Kishore. Here are the details that have emerged. The Tata Institute of Social Sciences submitted its report on the 27th of April, according to the government. Now, the actual arrests only happened in June. Now, from the 27th of April to the 31st of March, an entire month went by before you filed your first FIR. One would assume that a government that is sensitive and concerned, like you would want us to believe, Dr. Singh, would have gone the next day to check out what is going on, would have gone and asked for an inspection at least the next day. You are telling me that you sat on this file for a month asking polite questions about it, instead of going yourself, instead of actioning an immediate lookout as to what happened so those children could be moved out. And Sandhya has come back with details from the investigation to tell us that after the FIR was filed, the female staffers in that particular shelter threatened the children not to speak to anybody. So you gave them time to actually threaten the witnesses and the victims. Vikram Singh, this seems, I mean, if it oscillates between incompetent and complicit, I don't know which one it is, Vikram Singh.
Dithering
I would also like
precious
to say something here.
time was wasted in actual implementation of rule law. Dr. Singh, may I advise, you seem to be a very straightforward and a well-meaning person. My advice to you would be that you were so uncomfortable listening to editor Faye D'Souza's grisly account of the victims, what they went through. I would rather that in this case, please take pains to distance yourself from the delinquent CWC members and those who are the defaulters. It may be Brajesh Thakur or anybody else. There may be a CBI inquiry, but you would be well advised to invoke the provisions of the National Security Act against the so-called, the euphemism, the aunties. And aunties, the two aunties, Brajesh Thakur sir, you are known for good governance. The time has come now to give, now you should speak, your racket should be speaking, the two aunties should be put behind bars for going through putting the children to that trauma.
But to be fair, Mr. Singh, to be fair, Vikram Singh, Dr. Sunil Singh has not answered a couple of the questions I asked him. First of all, the question I asked him is, have you asked for a specific inquiry, or you started a specific inquiry into the entire process of your CWC in the state of Bihar? Because obviously the CWC is corrupt and compromised. There was no specific answer to that. Secondly, what are you doing to make sure that no other child and no other shelter in the entire state is being abused? No answer for that as well. Dhananjay ji, please go ahead.
Yeah. Faye, what the visual which you have shown is a clear sign where the whole law is being flouted. The way that the victim, the child, is being treated by that women in blue, and the police being in uniform escorting the children is against the law. Police has to be in a plain clothes. And the way, it's not a way of treating, the way they are pushing and threatening, that's not a way you can handle and you can treat a victim of a rape victim or a victim who's a POSCO victim. You have to be very, this is a clear-cut indication where the child will not speak. And so this is an uniform police is totally against the law. So if this is what the way the investigations are going on, then we really need to see that how they will be taking forward, how you will be getting the right answers from the children, one. Second, nobody is questioning the thought or the meaning or the efforts being done by the government of Bihar on this issue. But they need to be sure that the children who are under the law, the children who are being guarded by the government and the government officials. The law is very, very clear that they have a life imprisonment for them. It has to be seen what
and
are
also, Dhananjay Sehgal, so POSCO specifies how victims are to be dealt with. In this particular case, like you said, policemen in uniform is a complete no-no. Also, the manner in which they're being led away in front of the press. Why wasn't there a police van or a van that was brought to the door where these girls were taken, away quietly without making a big show of it? It just seems like the Bihar police has failed repeatedly. I also want to point out to our audience, Dr. Sunil Singh of the Bihar government has left the conversation. It might have become a little difficult to defend his government given all of the details we're bringing up. But Rifat Javed, you're familiar.
See, I'll say it's not only in front of the police, it's in the whole marketplace they're being walked around.
Yes.
What are they up to? The whole marketplace can be seen. Everybody is watching around, standing around. As if the girls who are there, they are not the victim, but they are the criminals.
Yes. Rifat Javed, go ahead.
Correct. You look, I mean, as you know, I think it was your correspondent who must have visited and would tell you that it's a very, very crowded part of Muzaffarpur city. So that privacy, unless the police secured it, it's very difficult to maintain their privacy. What happened in Muzaffarpur has been ironic in so many ways. Muzaffarpur has had the senior most police person of Muzaffarpur has been a lady for several months now. Among the tormentors of those victims have been two aunties. And by the way, as we talk about these people, and people said that TIS submitted the report in April. Why the hell you only started digging up the premises only this week? When the complaint came in that some children may have been buried there inside the compound, why did you not start digging the compound long early? And also, why did it take so long for you to start shifting them? I am told that it wasn't until only this week when the girls started being shifted to different shelter homes in Madhubani and Patna. Why were they allowed to stay there for last 3 months when you had the report of the gruesome acts being committed against them as early as in April? So there are so many ways that makes you believe that this government has not been serious about providing safety to those girls. And when you combine that to the other acts of atrocities being committed to other girls, like the student in the school and the doctor's wife and the 15-year-old daughter, you just you find it so nauseating. This is not the Bihar I have known. I mean, I've grown up in Bihar. I mean, during my college school days, we used to walk across fields without being fearful of being, attacked by anybody. It never occurred to us. It's only now that we have started feeling, we started getting worried about the women's safety.
सुषमा साहू, क्या आपको लगता है अप्रैल 27 से मई 31 तक, जब तक FIR दर्ज हुई, उससे पहले अगर गवर्नमेंट ने किसी को एक बार भेजा इंस्पेक्शन करने के लिए, वहां पे किसी से एक बार जांच करवाया, तो शायद इन बच्चियों की जो ट्रॉमा है 2 महीने की एक्स्ट्रा जो चली, शायद बच जाता।
देखिए, सरकार ने वाकई में बहुत देर किया है। मैं इस चीज़ से बिल्कुल इस चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट करती हूँ, लेकिन मुझे जो लगता है, क्योंकि इन बच्चियों को अभी भी उस समय जो क्या हुआ, क्योंकि देखिए, मैं 18 साल और 1 दिन के बाद के केसेस को मैं देखती हूँ जब तक वो जीवित हैं, लेकिन माइनर केसेस मेरे हाथ में नहीं होता है। लेकिन बिकॉज आई एम बिलोंगिंग फ्रॉम बिहार, सो दैट सेंटिमेंट मुझे खींच कर ले गया, और मैं गई थी प्रोग्राम्स के लिए, और मैं जाकर इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके जब मैंने सारे तथ्य दिए, तब मीडिया भी उस समय जागा। इससे पहले मीडिया भी बहुत नहीं जागा हुआ था। मीडिया ने कभी कभी एक आधी खबर दिया था, उसके बाद सारी मीडिया जागी, और तब पुलिस भी एक्शन में बहुत तेजी से आई। FIR हो चुका था, अरेस्टिंग 8 लोगों के भी हो गए थे, सब कुछ हुआ था। लेकिन जो बच्ची डेथ करके, मैंने उसको ब्रूटली टॉर्चर करने के बाद उसको डिगिंग किया गया, ये सब चीज, इन चीजों की जानकारी उस समय तक किसी ने नहीं दी थी। अगर उसी समय हो गया होता, मुझे तो लगता है, मैं आज फिर एक बार कहना चाहती हूँ, मैं किसी को नहीं बचाना चाहती और किसी जो लोग गलत नहीं उनको फंसाना नहीं चाहती, लेकिन फिर एक बात कहती हूँ, ये कोई छोटा मोटा स्कैंडल नहीं है। अभी सरकार को बहुत चौकन्नी होने की आवश्यकता है, और अगर CBI काम कर रही है तो CBI सिर्फ एक चिल्ड्रन होम पर, एक बालिका गृह पर ध्यान ना दे, वो पूरे बिहार के इस तरह की सारी चीजों पर भी वो चौकन्नी नजर रखे और सरकार को निर्देशित करे कि हाँ, इन सभी चीजों की रिपोर्ट चाहिए, क्योंकि अब तक जितने कल्प्रिट हैं उन लोगों ने या तो बच्चियों को डरा दिया होगा या अपने साक्ष्य छुपा दिए होंगे। इसीलिए मैं कहना चाहती हूं, सिर्फ एक गृह में ये घटना घटी है, मैं ये नहीं मान सकती। इसके अलावे भी कई ऐसी जगह हैं जहां हमारी बच्चियां शोषित हो रही होंगी और उनकी आवाज हम तक नहीं पहुंच रही है।
साथी, आपको और थोड़ी इंफॉर्मेशन देना था? Go ahead.
Yes, Faye. 2 things I would like to mention. That first of all, that how the child welfare, the retired director of child welfare unit, and the current director of child welfare unit, the current director is Mr. Rajkumar, and the retired director is Mr. Sunil Kumar. One of the accused in his in his statement to the police, in his confession to the police, has said that how two of them, they were aware of the fact that how this matter, an FIR should be registered, but they still did not even, forget about the FIR, they did not even go for an internal inquiry. Apart from that, he has named some more people who, before the FIR was filed, went to the shelter house without following a proper procedure. And what did they do inside, nobody knows, but because they were in no capacity to visit the shelter house, but they still went. And these are the people from the government, that's what the accused have mentioned. And second, talking about the delay, the FIR was registered on 31st of May and the arrests were made almost after 3 days. And during that duration, one of the victims in her 164 statement has clearly mentioned that the staff members, specifically the female staff members, threatened them to not to give any details regarding any of the atrocity. So yes, the two things are clear. First of all, that how people from the child welfare department, and not just someone at the councillor level, people at the director level were also somewhere involved in this, or at least they were trying to protect what was happening inside the shelter house. And second, how there was a delay which gave the accused enough time to threaten these victims. And we all have to remember, these are minor victims, they are kids who were brutally tortured for a very long period of time. So how difficult exactly was for these people to threaten these girls?
Absolutely, and the fact that these were girls who were, and this is my concern really, that despite the mounting evidence that the state had, they let these girls continue to live in the custody of people who were abusing them in the most horrendous manner for as long as they possibly could. Actually, that's the only explanation, that the fact that these girls were not moved out as soon as the test report was submitted in April is the thing that I find most shocking today. Babu Rao on the phone line from Bangalore. Babu Rao, go ahead.
Faye, thank you very much. I'm 66-year-old, retired from a multinational company. Please bear with me if I break down during this conversation. While you were reading the suffering of the children, I could not even watch, and I wanted to mute. Because let me tell you, we keep talking about governance, we keep talking about these kind of things. This doesn't come to me as a surprise. If I go back to the history, Arun Shourie, his first case was catching a lady who was going through this traumatized and he became famous. That was journalism. Ultimately, what is happening to Tejpal, what is happening to Pachuri, these people will get away and we break our hearts and discuss about all these things. Where is the governance? I did a back of the envelope calculation. Even if they recruit 1,000 ladies and exclusively keep them for governance of each state, it costs 62 crore rupees. If this governance is talking about waiver of loan, even if they have to put maybe another 2,000 crore and create thanas of ladies and do an auditing, I tell you, 5 years these children are going through this suffering, and probably it could be happening in many places. Where is the auditing? Where is the auditing? Where is the visit? And where is at least checks and balances? And at the end of it, 39 kids have suffered. And this is becoming like an epidemic, Faye. It is happening in church, it is happening in corporate, it is happening all over. I think it is more dangerous than polio. It has to be taken at a national level. And my last 20 seconds. If the Prime Minister wants to mock Rahul Gandhi, that is his prerogative. I would respectfully say that as a statesman, he should be talking about lynching, he should be talking about...
Yes, I understand what you're saying. And I'm going to take this back to Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh, the traumatic part of this entire story is the delay on the part of the state government to react to the report. It's only after the local press picked it up, the national press picked it up and made it all very uncomfortable for the government that they've actually done anything about it. In the meantime, they allowed these children to continue to live in the custody of monsters. And anybody else, when they saw this report, the reaction one would expect from the government is, oh my God, hamare bacche. Let's go immediately and find out what is really going on. And I don't know why the Bihar government did not react in that manner. They have not asked for an inquiry into the CWC. They have not arrested. Incidentally, the only person they have not arrested is the CWC member who was raping children. The Child Welfare Commissioner who was raping the child. I want that to sink in. There was a child welfare person who was raping children.
Fair Commissioner.
Vikram Singh, This is a failure on the part of the Bihar government, whatever they may say to deny it.
It is not a failure, it's a blunder, Faye. And as the last caller had said, the deep-seated anguish and a sense of shame that all of us panelists are sharing and the nation is sharing, what appears to be the shame of Bihar is now the shame of the nation. One would have expected the government to come down like a ton of bricks, not only on the two CWC, the two euphemistic aunties, but anybody who was remotely connected to this episode of shame. He should have been demolished and decimated in the next 24 hours. That did not happen. There was delay in the lodging of the FIR. There was delay and hesitancy. There was hesitation in the action taken because the two directors, Rajkumar and Sunil, they should have also been taken to task. I do say that there is an element of hesitation, dithering, marking time. Why is it there? You should have absolutely been totally unsparing. That element of unsparing whiplash is not discernible even now. I would rather that the Bihar government, especially Dr. Singh, please come down like a ton of bricks on all the defaulters.
Yes, in fact, Sandhya has one last piece of information, Mr. Singh, to share with us. Sandhya, there was also a lot of political influence from what you discovered.
Yes, absolutely, and it's mentioned in the preliminary report as well, Faye. The police has accepted that this man was not just politically influenced.
Which man are you referring to?
We are referring to the main accused here, Brajesh Thakur, who was the one who was running the NGO. He was also a journalist, and the preliminary report speaks about his political influence, and not just his political influence. Preliminary report also speaks about his connections at the top level of bureaucrats. Apart from that, how he was hand in hand with the mafia of the local mafia as well. So that's that one thing police has mentioned, that this was an absolutely influential man who not just managed to run the NGO, which was not even technically in his name. He just managed to run it because he owned that building, but he also managed to keep all the records straight. In fact, the accused in his confession, one of the accused in his confession has said that how the amount which was taken from the government was never spent on the shelter house. It was always shown on the paper, and for that Mr. Brajesh Thakur, the main accused here, he used to hire the top level CA of not just Muzaffarpur but from Patna also. CAs used to do the audit. So it always used to show that huge amounts are spent in the shelter house on the kids, but it was never there on the ground. So that's the preliminary report of the police saying that the influence of the main accused here was that one thing which played the key role, and that's that one thing which because when police was seeking the remand of the accused, police clearly mentioned that his influence could totally damage the case. So that's why the political influence of this man is very, very relevant in this particular case.
All right, I have to wrap up this discussion here, but we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on this entire case. Like I said last week, we flew down a reporter. Sandhya went there in person to actually see what was going on and what details she could collect firsthand. Obviously, the people accused here have political patronage, which is why this went on for 5 years. Now, we know that one of the girls, or the girl with the longest narration of an ordeal, was there for 5 years, and there were other girls who were added much later. But the question is simply this: there's something called police intelligence, where the police pick up from sources, they pick up from tips, they pick up from those who call in and give them intel on what is actually going on. It is almost impossible that for 5 years, children in an all-girls shelter were being beaten, they had hot water poured on them, they were being tortured, they were being raped, which meant that the screams that came from that building were heard by everybody around it. How is it that the police received no tips, no information, and the police of Bihar, shockingly void of intelligence? Did the government drag their feet because these people had political patronage? And is the government of Bihar truly serious about taking a look at every single shelter in the state and stop dragging its feet on the fact that there might be children right now, while we tuck our children into bed as they sleep soundly, we're leaving other children at the mercy of monsters? The Bihar government has, from no stretch of imagination, dealt with this problem with the seriousness that it ought to have been dealt with. Expecting brownie points and expecting us to clap for you today because you asked for a CBI inquiry, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You have failed. And because you have failed, these children suffered for 2 months more than they should have. And now you haven't even looked at the other shelters that have been mentioned in that report. The Bihar government has really messed up. And we're going to keep a very close eye on this case because you cannot afford to mess up any longer. Thanks for watching.